to him. What we know is this, that if a political party that is in power, as the CPDM has been in power since its creation in Bamenda in 1985, and the national chairman of that party decides that with his party in power, he would like to create, to recognize a section of that party with its base in the most powerful country in the world called the United States of America. This is not a small thing. If indeed the United States is the most powerful country in the world, then the newly created section of the party in power is also by association supposed to be the most powerful section of all the sections. So these are not things which I think we should take for granted. The President of the Republic, the National Chairman of the party, believes that the power that he wields in Yaoundé, with you having a section here, you wield that power with him. You are part and parcel of that power equation. That means that if you want something, you are free and you have the power to tell him. For anything, you have the power and the liberty to tell him because you are part and parcel of his own power. And he has decided that he should make you part and parcel of his own power. That means you are also in power. With the CPDM in power, the CPDM militants in the United States in general, and those two branches in Georgia are also in power. Therefore, don't be shy. Don't feel deprived. Don't be afraid. Feel at liberty to propose ideas to the President of the Republic, to propose ideas to the Central Committee of the party. Don't feel shy. Don't feel like anybody will hate you or put you in jail because you said something they didn't like. Because you are in power. You are considered the most powerful section of all the sections because you live in the most powerful country. Therefore, your ideas are expected to be very powerful ideas also, if not the most powerful ideas. If you have such capacity, if you have such a title, why fear? Why wonder? This is the national chairman's decision. And that is why he has sent us to come and say this solemnly with you and to make sure that we don't just come and say it. He says that by the time we leave the United States, let us bring back to him a report about how well organized this newly created section is. And by reorganization, he means get yourself constituted into a sort of management team, a management team led by a national president, or what we call a section president, with an executive at the level of the section, a management team at the middle level called a subsection, meaning a state or a group of states put together. That's what we call a subsection. And another level of management team under the subsection are the branches which are below the subsection. Branches are simply groupings of militants within a certain local government area, be it a county or a city. And I can see that in the state of Georgia, you already have two branches, Atlanta and Northeast, yes, Northeast branch. But you are free to have more. You are free to have more. You can have as many branches as you want. You can have as many cells as you want. There's nothing wrong with that because you are free and you have the power. But this is what I would like to say. When the national president decided to create this party here, and that the party should be reorganized here, he did not say that because you have 1,000 cells, or because you have 1 million branches, or because you have 3,000 subsections, that you should fight against each other. No. He did not say that each cell is an enemy or a rival to the other cell. He did not say that each subsection or each branch is a rival or an enemy to the other one. He simply said, all of you as militants of the same party and of the same section called the United States of America, you belong to the same house. Subsections belong to the same house. Branches belong to the same house. Cells belong to the same house. Therefore, there is no rivalry. And there can be no rivalry. All that you simply do is that cells work together, work with one another. Branches work with one another. Subsections work with one another. And all of you, under the umbrella of the United States section, you are a powerful force. And with that powerful force, a powerful force of ideas, a powerful force of wills, a powerful force of whatever, strength, you propose things, you propose ideas, you propose solutions, you suggest things to the national president. If you want interstate highways like you have in Georgia, suggest them to the national chairman. Nobody is going to say you're back because you suggested that you should create interstate highways because you have them in Georgia. No, that's good, that's a good idea. Anything that you think is good for our people, because you are part and parcel of that equation, suggest, propose. And I can assure you that I am one of those elements, one of those militants who believes in new ideas. Suggest new ideas, and I can assure you that I'll be one of those, as a militant of the CPDM, who will defend that idea to make sure that anybody who tries to consider you an outsider because you are giving new ideas, I'll be one of those to be a defender. Because in the CPDM party, the credo is tolerance. The credo is openness. The credo is open-mindedness. May have an open mind. And don't fear new ideas. Don't fear to discuss with one another. Don't fear to disagree. The only time disagreement has value, the only time agreement has value is when it begins with disagreement. If you have never disagreed, you really don't know the value of agreement. And that is exactly the central spirit of the CPDM. Because the central principle of the CPDM is that marked people and normal people, short people and tall people, fat people and small people come together in a grand movement that we call the Rassemblement in French, or a great rallying movement. That's exactly the central principle of the CPDM. People from all walks of life, people from all kinds of crazy colors meet together and act as if they are one family. That's why it's called the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement. It's a movement. Or in French, a rassemblement. But what do you resemble? If people are the same, you don't need to rassembler, you don't need to bring them together. The only reason why it is a rassemblement or a movement is that they come from all kinds of walks of life, from all kinds of perspectives. And so they meet together and act as if they are one. In that meeting together, they disagree a lot, by the way. They disagree a lot. But at the end of the day, they remain in the same house. That's exactly the spirit with which we have come here. The spirit of tolerance, open-mindedness. And the spirit that we should know that we shall disagree, we've always disagreed, and we do disagree. But we should always rise above and go beyond those disagreements. Otherwise, if we do not garner the capacity to go beyond disagreements, we are failing in our conviction, we are failing in our militancy. Because the whole reason why you are a member of the CPDM is because you don't have the same ideas. You don't come from the same backgrounds. But all, and as you know, when people go in the same direction, they don't necessarily come from the same background. So let us not worry about who thinks what. Let us not worry about who holds what position. Let us not always matter the thing. It's not important. What is important is that are we all going in the same direction as one house, as one army, as one united movement? That is what is important for us. As a matter of fact, if anybody who is sitting down here now decides that I should come and sit there, and then you should come and be talking, I'll be very glad to come and sit down and for you to talk. That is the spirit of the people. And that is why we're here. the national chairman has told us that we should come here with such an open mind in the spirit of the CPDM that we shouldn't take sides with people who disagree. We shouldn't promote, give value and pay emphasis on disagreements. We should rather promote the spirit of unity. We should rather promote the spirit of tolerance. We should rather promote the spirit of our greatness as one force, as one movement, so that together we can continue to enjoy what 206 political parties in Cameroon do not enjoy, and that is to be in a position of decision making. But if you are likely to lose being in a position of decision making, because the more you disagree, the more you give room for the other 206 parties to come in. And believe you me, power, I like to say, whenever we move in villages, power is so sweet that the difference between power and someone who is not in power is like someone who has clothing on and somebody who is naked. When you are not in power, you are naked. When you are in power, it's like you have clothing on. And please, when you have clothing on, keep them on and never be naked. The other way to keep them on is that you continue talking, even though you disagree. You keep on fighting. And everybody is not the same. Some will be short, some will be tall, some will be fine, some will be thin. Some will be presidents, some will be vice presidents, some will be just ordinary members. But we all belong to the same house. We eat the same food. If you really think that I should not talk anymore, I will sit down and not talk anymore. Because we're all talking the same language, the language of the CPD. That is why I have to say that because we are in a position of power, we are the party in power. When you are in a party in power, there are two things that must guide you. One is a sense of mission. The other one is a sense of responsibility. When you are not in power, you don't have to exhibit a sense of mission and a sense of responsibility. You can afford to play. You can afford to maneuver. As they say in French, you can even afford to maneuver. What you do that? Because you have a sense of mission and a sense of responsibility. What do I mean by a sense of mission? When you are in power, you know what you have to do. You know where you're going to. You have to take care of the whole nation. You have to take care of everybody, including even those who are against you. That is the sense of mission. When the party is in power, like we are in power, the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, we have the conviction and we believe in taking care of even those who are in opposition. That is the sense of mission. We cannot, once you are in power, say that you are in power only for yourselves. No. Once you are in power, God has already blessed that and anointed it, and it means that you should take care of not only yourself, but also take care of the rest. Meaning, even those who are not in your movement. No. When you are not in power, you don't have to do that. That is what is called a sense of mission. Because you know where you're going to. If you want an interstate in between Douala, Bafoussam, Yaoundé, that interstate is not for CPDM. If you want a hospital and you have to take a decision, it's not for the CPDM. If you want to do anything, scholarships, it's not for the CPDM. If you decide that you're going to give, as we hear every day, dual citizenship, it is not for CPDM militants. It is for everybody. That is a sense of mission. And a sense of responsibility means we cannot afford to make mistakes. We cannot afford to fall down. Once you are in power, you are responsible. Our responsibility means you can't make errors. You can't forget. You must always be straight and make sure that you don't lose sight of where you're going. In other words, you don't lose sight of the mission. That is the sense of responsibility you carry on you when you're in power. But when you're not in power, you don't have to exhibit a sense of mission and you don't have to exhibit a sense of responsibility. That is the role you've got in the United States. As militants of the CPDM, which has as a credo tolerance, open-mindedness. As militants of the CPDM, a party which is in power, you have a sense of mission. You know where we're going. If we want Cameroon to be like the United States, let us all work for Cameroon to be like the United States. That's our mission. Whether it takes us 1 day or 200 years, we will get there because we have the mission. the history of the CPDM in the United States of America. We look forward to seeing the women have their own voice. We look forward to seeing the youth being organized. The President of the Republic has given you the power. He has given you the liberty in his capacity as the national chairman of the party in power. Women, you have power. Organize yourself. Be presidents of the section, be presidents of the subsection, be presidents of branches and selves. That's the first. Young people, those who are from 35 and below, do the same thing. Organize yourself and be president. Call yourself a president even at the age of 20, 21, 22, 23.